President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris addressing the nation tonight after their historic win.
While I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last. Because every little girl watching tonight sees that this is a country of possibilities.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States.
Almost as soon as Biden was declared the winner, people flooded into the streets of cities across the nation. Some in celebration, others in protest.
It's not about the red or the blue. It's about people voting and democracy, and it was proven today.
If we cannot do research to verify that our votes were properly cast and properly accounted for, there's no reason to vote. We don't have a real democracy.
Ballots are still being counted, but the numbers from Pennsylvania secured Biden's presumed Electoral College victory. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris celebrating their victory and sharing a message of unity and hope this evening in those speeches to the nation.
At times, Biden speaking directly to President Donald Trump's supporters, saying he understands their disappointment, but to give him a chance.
We have to stop treating our opponents as our enemies. They are not our enemies. They are Americans. They're Americans. The Bible tells us to everything there is a season, a time to build, a time to reap and a time to sow, and a time to heal. This is the time to heal in America.
Throughout the day and into the night, celebrations go on in some of America's largest cities. This is a live look at one gathering going on in Washington, D.C. And the president has remained quiet this evening.
Yeah, you're seeing here he returned to the White House this afternoon after a golf outing in Virginia. He did not make any comments. About 6 hours ago, he tweeted 71 million legal votes, the most ever for a sitting president. And his campaign is filing a lawsuit. They did that this afternoon in Arizona, alleging that Maricopa County incorrectly rejected votes cast by in-person voters on Election Day. It's just one of several suits that the Trump campaign has filed as they fight for the presidency.
And we've been talking with people on both sides of the race tonight. Our crew's covering every aspect from how the local Democratic and Republican parties are reacting to the news to how locals are responding. Let's start with News4JAX reporter Marilyn Parker, who is live from St. Johns County. And Marilyn, when you talk to supporters, how do they describe the overall election season?
Plain and simple, they said the overall election season was a rough one, so they can only imagine how the last week was going to play out. Many people describing it as long, stressful, and a tedious process. And for some folks on the one side of the aisle, it's not over. The race to 270 ended Saturday with President-elect Joe Biden taking the reins. But this race isn't over for President Trump supporters who say they don't trust the results.
I'm 63 and been voting since I was 18, and I don't think I'll be voting again.
And why is that?
I don't see how we can figure out all the senators and everything else on one night, and it takes us a week and a half to figure out a president, and there's just something not right to it.
While celebrating at the Duval County Courthouse, Biden supporters say for them, the numbers are in and the people have spoken.
I think that this election season here was one that the last 4 years has caused a division, that I think it was time for healing, time for both parties to come together. And the only way that was going to happen was people getting out there and voting. And the people have voted. And this election is about the people. And it's proven that we want change.
The president has said he's challenging the voting systems, and his supporters say with ballots still being counted, Joe Biden shouldn't have been named president-elect.
I believe that what Trump is doing is to defend what us as Christians believe, that all of the policies and procedures and everything that are going on, that they are going to have a fighting chance to be truthful in the votes and what has happened up until now.
While some say this is the fresh start the country needed.
I think we all just wanted a new beginning. You know, enough of this. Just everyone's divided, everyone's fighting. It's just too much. This isn't what America's about.
And one thing people on both sides of the aisle say that they can agree with is that there is still lots more work to do in this country. We're live in St. Johns County tonight. Marilyn Parker, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Marilyn. Democrats and Republicans, they're divided on President-elect Joe Biden. And News4Jax reporter Janice Harris has talked with people on both sides of the aisle, people who believe the next weeks will be critical for uniting the country, but they've got two very different ways of wanting to do it. Janice?
Kent, you're absolutely right. The Democrats want to move forward and begin planning as far as being new people at the White House. They're ready to focus on that and policy change. But you have the Republicans that say they want to focus on ballots being counted and nothing else until that's done. With ballots still being counted, Republicans say national news media is in an unnecessary rush to call the presidential race. Duval GOP posted this statement saying, in part, quote, "In order for Americans to have confidence in our elections, we need time to let the canvassing and certification process take place, along with any investigations of irregularities or fraud play out." The same statement made by RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel. Daniel Henry, chair of the Duval County Democratic Party, disagrees.
This is something, obviously, that every Democrat, Republican, and MPA should be happy about because we finally know the results of this election and we can move forward.
Optimistic that Biden will unite the country.
He has said over and over again, even in his acceptance speech, that he was going to be an American president, that he was going to bring this country together after 4 years of division.
However, some Republicans believe if all of the ballots are not counted, it will only further divide the country politically.
I think what's important is to be cautious about the language that we use, as we go through this process. The sacredness of our elections is important to a free and open society.
For now, Democrats are celebrating a victory, while Republicans believe the race for the presidency is not over. Be able to see on a local level what happens. Will Democrats and Republicans locally be able to unite and work together for policy that helps all? That is to be seen. Reporting live, Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station.